Hello, it's Facebook Live time, free stamping class time on Facebook. I'm excited that I'm finally back. I have had a rough few weeks, traveling quite a bit to see my mother. As some of you probably are aware, she fell back in May and fractured her pelvis and went to the hospital. They didn't do any sort of surgery or anything. They thought rehab would work, so they sent her to a rehab facility. She lives in Billings, Montana, so she's a couple hours from where I live. So I have been making weekly trips up there to visit her and do her laundry, get whatever little things she might need. We've gone out to lunch. We've watched the airplanes come in. And then last Wednesday, before I was going to go live, I got a call that she had had a stroke. So I dropped everything and I raced up there to be with her. Thankfully, it was what they call a TIA, which is a very mild type of stroke from what I understand. And the CT scan showed no residual damage. So thank goodness she is going to be okay from that. Good morning, or good morning. I'm so used to being on here in the morning, I don't even know what I'm doing. It's 5 o'clock here, 7 o'clock Eastern. So hello, Marilee, Diane, and Wendy. So anyways, I went up there yesterday to do her laundry and visit her really quickly. I came back this morning. Here I am, Facebook Live now. She is set to be released from the facility on Monday, so I'm super excited about that. So she can finally go home. My brother's going to come to hang out with her for a week and a half so that I don't need to make, as many trips or feel like I should go make trips because I've kind of neglected my family and my house and my own laundry and my job. And so I'm hoping to get back on track now that she is going to be home. So yay. So anyways, enough about that and my problems. I'm sure everyone has problems in this world. I just get to tell you all about it because I'm live on Facebook. So that's good. I'm excited about that. So today's Facebook Live, I'm going to do a little bit with embossing because I don't know if all of you guys are aware. In this catalog, we have introduced our in color embossing powder stack. So we're going to do a couple things with this because this is amazing, is it not? And then I've got another card that I'm going to use, the Broadway birthday, I think it's called, for you guys. So that should be fun. So first of all, I want to talk about, good Lord, I'm a little frazzled right now. I still don't know what I'm doing. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Trudy. I want to give away the cards from the last Facebook Live I did, which was June 6th, which seems like forever ago. And I just can't believe it's been 2 weeks. So anyways, the cards that we made that last Facebook Live, I used one of our Memories and More card kits to make these 2 cards. This one has an envelope, so this is just one of those 4x6 cards. We mounted it on some other cardstock, added some little bling. They come with the card packs, come with envelopes in this card, and then we did this card with the abstract impressions. Yay! Speaking of that, you guys, I have a online class for the Abstract Impressions bundle, and it includes 9 cards. It's got project sheets and videos for all 9 cards. So if you're interested in that, head to my blog. There's a PayPal link there. The online class is $20, and you'll get access to all the videos, all the project sheets, and the cards that I do have in the class are not going to be shown anywhere. They're exclusive to that class. So you can purchase the online tutorial for $20. You can get it free if you purchase my bundle of products that I have set up on my blog, or if you join my team and place your first order, you get all my online classes for free, which I'm going to start doing. So I've got 4 more that I'm working on right now. So they should be coming out probably monthly from now on. And so I'll talk about that obviously when they come out. So anyways, the winner of those cards, Bev Winslow. So Bev, please message me or email me your address so I don't have to try to search for it. I do recognize Bev's name. She is one of my customers. So I would have access to her information, but it's just a lot easier for me if Bev can contact me directly and give me her address and then I can mail them out. So yay, congratulations, Bev. Also, be sure to share the video. There should be like a little share button down here. I don't know, somewhere. Anyway, be sure to share the video because everybody who shares the video goes into the drawing for the cards that I'm going to make today. And I'll give those away on the next Facebook Live. So, oh, hello, Teresa. Nice to see you. So that's that. Also, Oh, I've got a little ordering special since I've kind of been MIA for the month, and I feel kind of bad about that. Between now and the end of the month, if you order $50 from me and use my host code, in addition to my monthly card tutorial that I send out every month, I've got some twinkle backed adhesive stars that are going out. You will also get a set of 5 handmade cards that were made by me. So I've got like a stacks of cards here. And so I want to give away some cards. So if you place $50 order with me between now and the end of the month, use my host code, that I'll flip the camera over and you can see it. And then you'll get the cards plus the other goodies that I talked about. So I think that's all that I have. Besides, let's get to stamping because that's why we're all here, right? Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera, put on my broken glasses, and we will stamp. Yay! And there's my broken glasses. You can see they still have duct tape on them. Isn't that funny? But the thing is, they work just fine with the duct tape on them, and I just haven't gotten around to getting to the doctor's office and getting new glasses. So I'm sure if they break in half, then I'll have to get that done. So eventually I'll get that done. Anyways, I did want to talk a teeny little bit about the Abstract Impressions bundle, which is what my online class is about. So this is a stamp set that we used in the class. And then we also used the die set, which includes this amazing butterfly here, along with this amazing die that can be either used with our impressions pads for embossing, or you can cut it out. So that is really cool as well. So here's just a few cards I've gotten in swaps or that I've made myself that use this bundle of products. And now these are not the cards that are included in the class. The class cards are exclusive to the class, like I said. So these are just some more ideas. And in addition to the ideas that you get in the class, I do have some photos of a bunch of other cards that I will put at the end of the PDF tutorial. So you'll have other cards to make with your bundle. So that's that. All right, so let's stamp something. Okay, I wanted to use the Broadway birthday stamp set and the Broadway Lights framelits dies. And can I just tell you guys, if any of you guys get Paper Pumpkin, we have the June Paper Pumpkin kit, and I just got it in my mailbox today. Check this out. It coordinates with the Broadway birthday bundle in the catalog. So here is, I haven't even opened it, can you believe that? Here's the ink spot. It's lovely lipstick. Here is the adorable stamp set. Look at that cute little piece of cake. That's so cute. And this is what the kit makes. So you get 4 of each of these cards with envelopes, and it coordinates with the stuff that's in the Broadway bound suite in the catalog. So that's really cool. So the stamps will kind of coordinate with the other stamps, and the cards will coordinate with the paper. And oh, yes, very exciting. So if you don't get Paper Pumpkin, you can sign up for it. And then when they offer refills, oh, hello, Jackie, how are you? Then you should be able to purchase a refill kit if you want. Anyway, okay, so enough about that. I got a little confused there and off task. Okay, like squirrel, that was me. Okay, so Broadway birthday. So here's the stamp set. Here's the die set. And I like to take the die sets and cut them all out, and then so I can show my customers what the dies actually look like, what the dies do, because it's really hard to just tell looking in the catalog. Or if you just had all these dies dumped out, you're just kind of like, yeah, that's really neat. What do they do? This is what they do. So we have this long strip die that does cut all these cute diamonds. And I did see a card a friend of mine made where she die cut this on the front of her card and then had a piece of gold foil paper on the inside of the card. So when you were looking at it, you could see the gold foil underneath this. So that was super cool. So that's what this die does. Or you can just adhere those individually, of course, across your card any way you wish. Then we have the big marquee piece right here that die cuts all this little polka dotty thing here, and then this little layer on the inside that you can do in multiple colors, obviously. We've got numerous little goodies that you can stamp and die cut. We've got this large word wish, the cute little bow, and then this little balloon. So that is the goodies that are in the die set. So we are going to use, we're actually only going to use the little party hat on the card that I'm making today. But I did want to show those to you, hopefully. Oh, did you guys hear that? I just dropped one on the floor. So I'm going to find it right now before I put this away, because if I don't, then you know how that is. It'll be lost forever. Oh, there it is. Clear under the table. I had to bend way over. That's hard. Okay, so we've got our silicone mat. We've got some clear blocks here, like so. We've got some ribbon. We've got some ink. course you need all that. We've got some cardstock pieces. Here we go. Some linen thread, some sequins, and some more stamps. Okay, so I've showed some of you guys some of this before. Sometimes when I'm working with my photopolymer stamps, I like to lay them on a silicone mat, you know, sticky, or the side up that I'm going to put my block on. That way, just in case, you know, you're sticking it on your block, you might get it crooked or curved. This way, if you lay it there, let it kind of regain its shape really quick, and then you can just come over the top of that thing and pick it up. Oops, that was crooked. Person has to get right on top of it, and with the camera in the way, that's difficult. And then this is the other little piece that goes with this word, so we're going to do the same thing with that. Okay, so prior to going live, I cropped out, this is the second to largest stitched shape oval, and this is the number 8 scallop oval. Now when I say number 8, what I mean is my scallop ovals, the tiniest one in my set, I marked number 1, and I go up to number 10, which is the largest. So this is number 8 from the inside going out. And we're going to stamp on this little guy here. So I've got a foam piercing mat here and a piece of cardstock, just random retired cardstock, because it makes it easier for me to see if I have a dark piece of cardstock underneath my white label. We're going to use the Memento Black. And I'm going to start out by inking up this polka dotty hooray stamp. And we are just going to kind of eyeball that right across the center of that. So we have the black, and then we're going to come in with the Blushing Bride. And we'll ink that up. And because these are photopolymer, when I'm coming down over the top of this, I can see the dots through there. So I'm just going to kind of hover it, wiggle it. Hopefully this is right, because I'm at a bad angle with my camera in the way, but we'll see what happens. That was pretty good. So we have our hooray stamped there. And then I also need to get one more stamp out of here that I didn't get out. The one that says, "It's your birthday." Where is that? Oh, it's right here. It's hard to read upside down and backwards sometimes. All right, I need another block. So I'm going to bring this back in, lay that down on there, and then we shall pick it up. There we go. And I'm also going to stamp the "It's Your Birthday" in the black. And we're going to go right underneath the hooray. Ugh. I don't know if that's straight. That's pretty good. I think that'll work. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is these will eventually be glued together, but not before I put some ribbon around this layer of black. So I've got some of our Pear Pizzazz Yummy Shimmer ribbon. And I'm just going to wrap it around my scalloped oval, leaving some tails at the other end. Boy, the struggle is real. What the heck? Scissors, where are you? Oh, right here. Okay, and we'll cut that off like so. And then I like to take some Scotch tape. Where's my tape? Oh, it's over here. To hold these things in place, just so it goes right across the middle. That way it's just going to make it easier for me to kind of tie the ends. So if I just put a piece of tape right there, and a piece of tape on the back across the middle, that's going to keep that in place, make it a little bit easier for me to then bring in my linen thread. Where's the end? Right here. And we're going to tie these pieces together and into a bow. Okay. Is that the wrong side of the tag? It seems like when you die cut stuff, there's always a right side and a wrong side. We want the right side up, which is this side. Okay. Seems like when you cut through the paper, it always kind of pushes it to the back, and then it makes a nice clean edge. So that's the what I call a right side. Okay, so we're going to do this. That tip solves a problem I always have. Oh, yay! I love solving people's problems. Woohoo! All right, so I'm tying a knot first because, oh my goodness, the struggle is real right here. What the heck? Okay, I'm trying to tie a knot. Well, maybe I can just tie it into a bow. All right, we've done the one knot thing like you're tying your shoes. I want it to be tight, and we will try to get the bow without tying a knot there. Okay, so I like to hold the knot, and then as I pull the ends, that kind of keeps the twine from going kind of silly. So we're going to just keep doing this until we get the size of bow that we want. about like so. Okay, so we'll leave those little tails. So now we can take our little hooray and we can add some dimensionals. And I'm going to add the dimensionals at the top and the bottom of the oval because I want them to go over the tape. I don't want, if I put my dimensionals right here, it's going to kind of get lopsided and it's going to make it a little bit too high. So if I put them here, then they'll end up going right over the top of the tape and the ribbon, and then there won't be any excess weirdness. I don't really know even how to describe that, but just do it like this and you won't have any weirdness, which probably isn't even really a word, but when I'm stamping, I make up all kinds of words. Okay, so we will trim off some of these little tails. How about like that? Okay, so we're done with the linen thread. We are done with the hooray. We are done with this because we don't need to put any more stamps together. I'm going to move a couple of these stamps out of the way, only because you guys have seen me before make a mess out of stuff if I don't clean up after myself. Okay, so then I have some Blushing Bride pieces. Thanks, Wendy. This one is a layer that's 5 1/4 by 4, and then we have our card base that's 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. So this piece here, I'm going to run through the Big Shot with my new subtle folder. And I don't know if the camera's going to really pick up any of the design on this, but it's just going to make, if you guys remember the textured cardstock we used to sell, this folder kind of makes that same impression on the paper. So we're going to use this folder and my layer of Blushing Bride, which I stuck right here. Okay, and I've talked about this before too. I like to spritz my paper with some rubbing alcohol before I put it in the folder. That just makes it take the impression a little bit deeper. It doesn't do any, like water can sometimes pill up and compromise your cardstock. I don't find alcohol does that. So I'm going to go ahead and run it through Hinge first, through my Big Shot with my Big Shot platform, the folder with the paper inside of it, and one cutting pad. And we've got the Big Shot right back here, so we'll throw this through. And then when we take it out, it's still a tiny bit wet, but alcohol does dissipate and dry quickly. And I hope, I got a little mark on the back of that. So this is obviously going to be the front. So can you guys see that texture? I'm hoping that you can because it's super cool. Okay, so we're going to add this to the card. I need some liquid glue because whenever I do embossing, dry embossing with folders, I like to attach those layers with liquid glue. I find it holds a lot better than, say, snail or even glue dots. I'm just a fan of liquid glue. Okay, so we'll try to get that even. See how it works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so there is our fabulous subtle embossing that I love. And then our little hooray we're going to put on with some dimensionals. Again, put them over the ribbon so that the dimensionals aren't on the ribbon, so you don't add any extra bulk or wobbliness, weirdness, as I said earlier, that is now a stamping word. But, oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Before I stick this on there, I have to do something. Where's my little tiny stamp? Okay, this is one of the little stamps that comes in the set. It's this little double diamond kind of cool stamp. And so we are going to add some double diamonds around where this is going to go. So I'm just going to kind of hold this where I would end up putting it, which is about right there. And then I'm just going to start stamping a few of these little guys. And I'm not worried about them being completely perfect, you know, as far as spacing and everything goes. I'm just adding them sort of randomly just because I wanted a little bit more interest on the card. So I think that looks right. And then I'm going to put some down here. So I've got my piece kind of hovering over. And then we will add a few down here in this corner for a little fun. Try to get that one. Nailed it. Okay, how about like, oh, I think I need one more over here somewhere. Like that, maybe. No, that you can't even see. That was really good. How about that one? Yeah, okay. So those dimensionals have already been taken off, so we will go ahead and add this right like so. And there it is. It's done. Woohoo! So there is card number 1. Oh no, I'm not quite done. I forgot I wanted to put a party hat on here. Ah! Okay, party hat comes in the stamp set, does have a coordinating die. And we are going to ink it up with Pear Pizzazz and some Blushing Bride. So here's a little trick. I'm going to use this right in the corner. And I'm just going to kind of place this stamp. Can you guys see how I did that? I just barely stuck it there in the corner. And I want that little part. There we go. And then I'm going to bring this one in, and I'm also going to kind of use the corner to get the little funness, there's another word for you, out of the top of that thing. Where's my little scrap? Here we go. And I just got ink on my hand, so I'm going to have to clean my hand off. Right there's some ink. Yep, I just licked it, just saying. It's non-toxic, it's not going to kill me. Okay, so now I can cut this out. And I already had one cut out, and I don't even know what I did with it. So I'm just going to turn around really quickly here. Well, I hope it'll be really quickly. And cut this out. Because I had it cut out, and then apparently I lost it. Although my little party hat die is right here. This should only take a couple seconds. I need some bifocals. Sorry guys, I wish I had like a little, I don't know, dancing bear or something I could stick over there so you could watch that while I was gone. Okay, oh, look what I did. It's a good thing I'm putting a party hat on there because I got the ink on my hand and of course got it on my card. Of course I got it on my card. So annoying. But it's not really a screw up because we can totally take care of it just like that. Okay, now the card is done. It probably would have been done before had I not stuck my finger in the ink, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, let me kind of clean up this stuff that we used on this project because we are done with it. I don't need that. I don't need the ribbon. I will need glue. So somebody's going to win this. Oh, you know what? There was one more thing I wanted to do. I don't know what my problem is. My brain just does not want to function today. We're going to add some sequins. So we're going to take some liquid glue. We're going to just add a couple of fun sequins. So we'll stick a little dot right there. Oh, come out. A little dot there. And maybe a little dot there. This is our, what is this? Iridescent sequin assortment. And I'm kind of going to pick these pinky ones, pinkish colored ones. And of course the card was adorable without the party hat. Well, except for the ink problem that I had. But it was adorable without the party hat, but it's just even more adorable with the party hat. And this is just a little tiny stick that I've made out of a bamboo skewer and a tiny bit of poster putty. No, I don't want that one. I want this one. I just stuck a little bit of poster putty on the end of that thing so I could use it to pick stuff up because I don't really have any fingernails and it just is a helpful little tool. So now it's done with those fabulous iridescent sparkly sequins. Okay, I got a little carried away, a little excited there. Moving on. Okay, we are going to now use another one of my new favorite stamp sets, the Tropical Chic stamp set and the Tropical Thinlits dies. Yeah, I know, Linda, right? When you screw up and get ink on your stuff, it's great to have a party hat to cover that up. Okay, so here are, this is a set of 8 dies. And this is what they look like when they are cut out. Some of them have coordinating stamped images. Some of them do not. This little guy is super cool, and I haven't really done anything with it yet, but I think what's going to be cool is if you put like some patterned paper behind this, it's like a window, then the patterned paper would show through, and I just think that would be super cool. So I went ahead and stamped the images in Call Me Clover onto the Granny Apple Green, one of our brand new colors in the new catalog. And so those are the dies. Put that back in there so I don't lose it. Stamp set. So here are the coordinating for stamp set or stamped images that I did die cut. And so we are going to use some of them today. And we're going to do some embossing, like I said, with our fabulous embossing stack. Woohoo! So it's got all of the new in colors. So we've got the lovely lipstick, Call Me Clover, Pineapple Punch, Blueberry Bushel, and the Grapefruit Grove. And on this card, we're going to use those two. On the next card, we're going to use the rest of these. So, but they come in this cute little container. Isn't that adorable with this fancy little lid? Yay. That kind of stuff just makes me happy. Okay, so we've got some stamps here we need to get out. We've got some of this new Granny Apple Green. What is this called? Woven ribbon? No. Yes. Textured weave. Close. Which is cool. It comes in this and the basic gray. And what else do we have? We're going to use our tailored tag punch. Well, that might actually show something like up above you, which isn't that exciting. Some ink. All right, we need some cardstock. So I've got a piece of thick Whisper White that I cut the hot dog way. I had some teachers at a workshop I did a long time ago, and we were talking about cutting the paper. And they said that they tell their students that when you have a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, you cut it like this. That's the hot dog way. If you cut it the other way, like we normally cut it, that's the hamburger way. So hot dog, hamburger. Yeah. So this is the hot dog way. Then we also have a layer, which is 4 by 5 1/4, your standard size. We've got a little strip of the Designer Series paper that I'm going to show you in a second. This is 1.5 by 5 1/4. Just a little strip, doesn't really matter how wide it is. It's going to go behind the DSP, so it's 5 1/4 by, that's probably 3/4 of an inch. And then I've got some other little treats here that I'm not going to show you quite yet. Here is the Designer Series paper. It is called the Tropical Escape 6 by 6 pack, and it's got 12 patterns in here. So here's the one that I'm cutting into today. And then it has all these super fun tropical, I love the color combination in here. We've got the Granny Apple Green. I think that's a shaded spruce, but Call Me Clover is working for me with this. And black. So here are some of the patterns. Flip them over. Here are all the rest. Really great shades of greens. Love it. Okay. So we're using that paper. Put that away so I don't end up getting ink on it, because you guys know how I am. Okay, that one too. All right. So we're going to start out with some scraps of white. So let me get some scraps of white, because that's one thing I didn't get. Here's some right here. Okay. So I'm going to stamp this leaf, this flower, and this sentiment in a Versamark ink, which I have right here. And then I've got some trays. Now, we used to sell these in our catalog 100 years ago, and I have had them for a long time. You can use a coffee filter, some sort of a Tupperware container. You could use a folded piece of copy paper, just whatever you have to collect your excess embossing powder will be fine. Okay, so we're going to first start out. Oh no, I don't need white. What am I doing? Brain cramp, start again. We need Granny Apple Green and Blushing Bride. Ugh. I would not be surprised. I would not blame you guys if you turned me off right now, because I am really having some issues. Okay, so I'm going to just take my embossing buddy, pounce it all over the cardstock just to kind of get all the static off of them, so that when I ink it up and stamp it, it won't collect a whole bunch of excess powder. We shall hope. Okay. So here's one of the large tropical leaves. Like, I don't know if this is a palm leaf. I don't really know foliage that well, so we're just going to wing it. And I'm going to get 2 of these. So we will stamp 2 of those. And then we're going to bring in our little powder pal tray, and we're going to sprinkle the powder over these guys. I'm so excited about this. We haven't had colored embossing powder for a really long time. We used to have it in a few colors, and then they retired them all, and I'm just super excited to have this stuff back. So here are the leaves. Set those aside. Close this, so because I've spilled this down here on the floor many times. Well, not that particular color, but embossing powder. Okay, and then we need a couple of these cute little flowers. And we will get those onto this piece of Blushing Bride. Same thing, although this one I happen to have a bunch in my tray here, so I think I can just get away with kind of scooping it in. Oh, I'm not sure if you guys even see what I'm doing there. Scooping it into the tray, and then just kind of tapping it off. And since I used my embossing buddy, hopefully most of that's going to come off without any problems. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is, I'm not really going to do it because it takes a little while and it's loud and obnoxious, but you would take a heat tool and you would heat this until it's melty. And then you would run these pieces through the Big Shot with the coordinating dies, and I've already done that. So let me pull those in out of my little cheater package here. There they are. Oh no, I'm missing one. Well, it's anyone's guess where that other flower is. So I may have to heat this up real quick. No, I don't want to do that. We're not going to do it. I'll just tell you what I'm going to do with it. It goes on the inside of the card, so it's not really that big of a deal. Okay. But I also do need to get a sentiment. So this is a sentiment from the stamp set, and it says, "You are the greatest." So now we're going to use some white, a white scrap. I knew I needed a white scrap in here somehow. So we'll take our little embossing buddy, pounce that all over, ink up the stamp here, and then it's upside down. We'll stamp that like so. Bring the powder back in, and yes, that is the magic of Facebook Live, isn't it? When I do regular videos, I always cut out, well, not always, but I cut out a few things. Because, you know, when you screw up every single thing you do, you don't want people to see all of that. So anyways, so here is our sentiment. So I would heat set that, and then I would crop it with the tailored tag punch. And then by the magic of TV, if I had it out here, which I should, I would be able to show it to you. So let me move some stuff out of the way. Oh, it's right here, so I can find it. Well, that's not the right one. Well, here's one that I did. I put these little doohickeys on there. I don't know if I'm going to like that or not. We may hate them. I may have to heat this one. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm going to heat this up. I don't think I like that. So I was thinking maybe I could tell you a story while I'm heating this up. But I don't really know any great stories off the top of my head. Because, yeah, I just don't. I know that my mom is a huge Colorado Rockies fan, and they have been doing really, really bad these past week or so, and she is very upset with them. So they finally won a game last night, which just made mom super happy. So yay, Colorado Rockies. Thank you for giving my mom a little bit of joy. Okay, so now I'm going to punch this out like that, because I don't think I like that. Okay, so now we can just kind of put all this together. Where's my strip? Here it is. So I'm going to take some glue, here's some snail, and just run it along the edge of this paper like that. And then I just want a little bit of this granny apple green to show, like, I don't even know what that is, 1/8 of an inch maybe, give or take, something like that. Got some embossing powder, a little stray embossing powder on the paper here. Okay, and this is a little bit long, so we'll just trim that off, no problem. It's always super easy to trim stuff off. You can't add paper back. Oh, and that's a little bit too short too, so we will be trimming that as well. Add a little bit of snail. Whoops, what the heck? I had a little issue with this earlier today, and now it's going to give me fits again. So I may just dump it and get my liquid glue, which is my favorite adhesive anyway. Okay. So we're going to line this up on that edge there and this bottom edge, and then I'm going to quickly trim this since my paper trimmer is right here next to where my camera is, and I can just trim this off super quickly. Okay. And then that's going to go on our layer of white here. And then we're just going to kind of build some fun here. So we're going to take our sentiment, and I thought I would stick it about like so. Bring in some fun foliage, put a little flower here, and my other flower that I can't find was just going to go on the inside. So super exciting that I lost that. And then I have a couple of strips of this granny apple green textured weave ribbon. And I'm going to cut those down because they're too long. And we're going to end up sticking those on the back of this little guy. So, about like so. Again, I'm going to use some Scotch tape. Where did I do with it? Oh, it's right here. It's always right where I can't find it. Okay. So that's going to go about like so. And our little leaves, I need to glue those to the back. So where's my liquid glue? Just add a little bit. Is that what I wanted it to do? About like that. Yeah, I think that's good. And we'll add some glue back here. And add our second leaf. I just think this embossing is just, I just love embossing. Heat embossing is one of those things that I have loved since the first time I learned how to do it. And it was back when I lived in Billings, Montana, and my demonstrator was June Jazorski. So this was, well, I've been a demonstrator for 15 years. So I think she was a demonstrator, I don't know how many years after I moved away from there, but she was amazing. And Jackie, who's watching us with us here, probably remembers June. June was amazing, and June taught us lots of fun stuff. And heat embossing was one of those things, and I just fell in love with that. Every time I do it and the stuff melts, it just is always very exciting. It's never boring to me. So anyways, and now that I can emboss in color, oh my gosh, my roll's complete. Okay, so we're going to add some dimensionals to that. Oh, get off there. If I had a fingernail, it might be helpful. Yes, good old June. I know, I loved her. Okay, so there we go. That, and we'll just add a little bit of liquid glue to the back of this piece here. And layer that like so. And I was messing around, you guys, with this little thing and putting some little green dots on there. But I just didn't like it. It just wasn't working for me. Just like if I was to stick this on there. No. No. Goodbye. No. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, when I find that little flower, my second flower, or I'll heat emboss the other one, I was just going to stick it on the inside here, just so when whoever opens it up. And then that's kind of exciting. So there you go. Okay, so that's card number 2. So remember, share the video because you will get the chance to win the cards. That's always exciting, winning the cards. Oh, you know what? Maybe I just found these little doohickeys in my bucket. I wonder, these are what? Glitter enamel dots in Gorgeous Grape, Lovely Lipstick, Granny Apple Green, and Coastal Cabana. So I think instead of putting those little green dots on there, maybe I'll put some of these on here. So what if I stuck like, I don't know, like a red one? Or would that be like too much? If I stuck a green one right in there, maybe? And maybe a lovely lipstick one or two? All right, we're going to try it. Where's my piercing tool? Oh, it just tipped over. Okay. So I am going to pick one of these medium ones. What if I stuck that right there? Is that terrible? Or does that look okay? And then I have a big one that I could stick right there. And I have a little tiny one that I could stick right there. Maybe. Ooh, or maybe I could stick it right there. Okay, what do you guys think? Was it better without the dots or with? Wendy says it was fine without the dots. Does anyone else have a strong opinion one way or the other, the way it was before as to the way it is now? Please vote. I'll clean up my mess while you do that. Okay. Is anybody? Anne-Marie just says gorgeous, so I'm assuming she means the way it is now. Linda says with dots. Wendy says it's okay either way. Still cleaning here. Diane says beautiful. Someone says like it now. Claire says like the dots. Jackie likes it both ways. I guess we'll just go ahead and leave the dots since they're already on there. It's going to be hard to take them off. So, all right. With dots. There you have it. And I will put these cards up on my blog. I've been trying to like do it within the next week after the Facebook Live so that you could see them again if you wanted to. But I don't always get that done, especially lately where I've been gone a lot. I've got embossing powder on here. I'm going to kind of brush that into my trash can here. So I will try to get them up so you can see them, you know, not Facebook Live. Okay. Moving on to our last card, which is also going to use embossing, but it's going to do kind of like rainbow embossing. And some of you, I'm sure, have seen this before, and maybe some of you have not. But it's a super fun technique that's wonderful when you have more than one color of embossing powder. And we are going to use the Big Wishes stamp set because we've got some big, bold images here. So we've got the one that says Wish Big. And we've got some blueberry bushel cardstock, and this is kind of going to be more geared towards like a guy or a boy's card, you know, maybe. I always do lots of girly cards, but I mean, I have lots of men I need to send stuff to too, so I need to make some guy cards. So this one's going to be kind of more geared towards a boy, like maybe a teenage boy or a man or something. We'll see how it works out. Okay, so we've got some blueberry bushel cardstock, some white. We've got a little strip of Grapefruit Grove ribbon. And I could have used any of them, But I kind of went with the grapefruit since I was using the blueberry paper and the pineapple punch designer series paper, so I thought I'd throw in the grapefruit grove there. Those also. And this is the designer series paper that I use. This is the 6x6 in color stack. And we have little stacks of these 6x6s in all of our color families. So we have the 2018, 2020 in colors, the 2017, 2019 in colors, and the brights, regals, subtles, and neutrals papers. So you get stripes, 2 different kind of stripes. There we are. And then on the flip side of the stripes is the polka dots. So we have like kind of the whiter polka dots and then the more muted polka dots there. So these papers are super fun. I've always loved having these kind of papers, and I was so glad that Stampin' Up! Brought them back. We had them, let's see, year before last, and they retired them all. They were 12 by 12s, and they took them away. We didn't have them last year. I cried my baby eyes out. I mean, I survived, and I used other stuff, but I was so excited that they came back. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use this stamp. Oh, I need my Versamark pad. Here we go. And this piece of cardstock measures 3 by, I think 3 3/4. Yes, 3 by 3 3/4. And so then this blueberry bushel is like 3 1/4 by 4 to be the layered piece. This is 1 1/2 by 5 1/4, 4 by 5 1/4, and then the hot dog way of cutting the card, which is 4 1/4 by 11. And we'll just go ahead and fold this in half right now. Bone folder out here. Okay. And so the first thing we're going to do is do some embossing on our piece of white. So I have, let me put all my trays all over here. I wasn't kidding when I said I have a lot of these little trays. Okay, so we're going to use the other 3 colors of embossing powder. Get those out of the tube here. All right, so here's my yellow tray. So like I said, we're going to ink this up in Versamark. Where did I put the Versamark? And actually, I think I'm going to open these all up because I kind of need to work quickly. I mean, you don't have to be super quick about it, but because Versamark is a sticky pigment ink, so it will take a little while to dry. But I mean, you still want to work with a little bit of, what's the word I'm even looking for? And my mind is telling me fastness, but fastness is not a word. I don't know where I'm coming up with all these non-words. Work quickly, but don't like stress yourself out about it. Hello, Charlene. Good to see you. Okay. Yeah, fastness, not a word. Just saying. Okay. So, oh, you know what? I need a darker piece of cardstock. I always find that I can see better if I have my white paper surrounded by dark paper, and this is white, so I can't really see. Okay, so I'm going to try to center this as best I can on there, like so. I'm going to press it down, try to get good contact. Okay, so you probably can't really see that there is ink there because it's Versamark, and Versamark is very light, but there is, I swear. So I'm just adding my pineapple punch to the edge here. So you can see that I have some pineapple punch. Now I'm going to flip this around, bring in the grapefruit grove, and we'll do this. And we'll sprinkle that into the tray. And I think I might need a tiny little bit more of this. Coverage wasn't quite as far into the center as I liked, so there we go. And then we will add the blueberry bushel right down the middle. And since most of my Versamark, I mean, I might get a couple of sprinkles here and there, but most of my Versamark has already been covered by embossing powder. So there we have it. I'm going to flick that into the air. I don't really want to flick any yellow or grapefruit grove anywhere. So that is how you do multicolor embossing. So now I just need to heat that up. And let's see if I have any other stories I can tell you while I'm heating this up. Where did I put my tool? Okay, here we go. Oh, since Jackie's on here, I have a funny little story about heat tools. Her and I used to stamp together quite a bit. And she knew a gal, and I cannot remember who this gal is, but this gal used to do this when she would emboss. She would move the tool like she was drying her hair. Well, that doesn't really work that good. So, yeah. You just want to kind of keep it in one spot, look at it. You can see it melt. And then as it's melting, you just move the tool to a new spot and continue heating it. So I always find that if I have it next to a light where I can kind of see the glare, blow dryer. Do you remember that, Jackie? I don't remember who that girl was, but she was a friend of yours, and when we were heat embossing stuff, she would wiggle it around like to dry your hair. And so that was just really funny. Why I remember that, I don't know. Probably because Jackie's on here and I'm heat embossing without a blow dryer. Okay. No, she didn't use a blow dryer. She would just do it as a blow dryer motion. So, yeah, that was some funny stuff back in the day. Okay. That was probably, oh my gosh. Ugh. How long ago would that have been, do you suppose? 17 years ago, maybe? Because I've been a demonstrator for 15, and I was not a demonstrator when we were doing that. June was the demonstrator. Anyway, so that's just kind of funny. So that doesn't really work as well as just keeping it in one spot and heating it that way. Okay, so we're layering this onto our blueberry bushel layer. And trying to get it even. 2000, yeah, maybe. That's the year I actually left, so that could very well be. So 18 years ago. Holy cow. I have been stamping for a long time. Even though I've only been a demonstrator for 15 of those years. I started stamping in, yeah, it was like 2000 or 1999 or something. Oh, good Lord. What the heck? Okay. Got some embossing powder there. All right. What am I looking for here? I'm not happy with that because I put that on there crooked. So I'm going to try and see if I can fix it. If I bring in some fancy scissors, and maybe try to cut it on the diagonal just a tad. I think it's partially salvaged, partially not. Oh, I am not happy with myself right now, girls. And if there's guys on here, I'm not happy with myself regardless of who you are. Okay, we're going to just move on because we can't dwell on that. Now, another thing you can do with embossing powder and heat tools is you can color stuff. So we have these new brads in the catalog, and yes, they are amazing all by themselves, any color that you decide to use them. So we have some metallics, and we have just some color. So there's the mint macaron, calypso coral, I think night of navy and white, and then the silver, gold, and copper. And so I'm just going to grab one of these mint macaron ones. I'm going to put these back the right way. Oh wait, these are basic, those are metallic. Get it straight, Barb. Okay, so what you can also do is you can color stuff like this. So I'm going to color this yellow. Pineapple Punch. And I happen to have this pair of cross-lock tweezers. Whoops. That Stampin' Up! Did sell 100 years ago in a kit, and I've just always kept them because they're really cool. But, you know, just some regular tweezers I'm sure would work just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my heat tool again. And I'm going to put the lid on this so I don't blow the powder all over the place. But I'm going to heat this up, this little brad. So I'm going to heat it up. I don't know how long, until I feel like it might be hot. And then I'm going to take the lid off and I'm going to dunk it in there. And see what happens? It's yellow! And then I can melt that embossing powder to the brad. Get it melty on there a little bit. And I'm going to dunk it in again. And I'm going to heat it up a little bit more. And that will give me some colored brads. I know, right? I'm going way back, Jackie, way back. And so here is a colored brad. I'm so excited. Okay, so now I can take a hole punch, which I happen to have. Oh, which one is it? This one. Okay, this is an 1/8 inch hole punch. And you know, honestly, I can't even remember if we sell this in the catalog anymore, but you probably have one. Let's just go there. And I'm going to punch a hole right up there in the corner. And then my little brad should be not hot anymore. And I'm just going to pop that right in there. Open up the prongs. And then I have a fabulous little slide. I'm so excited about that. Okay. No, I don't want to use that snail. It's been giving me fits today. Oh my gosh. What should I do? Polka dots? Or stripes. Okay, you guys are going to have to weigh in again. Polka dots or stripes? Yes, Jackie, you do. Or I could come visit you since I've been Billings all the time, although I'm hopefully not going to be up there as much anymore. Stripes. Ugh, get over there. Polka dots? Stripes. You guys think about that for a second, and I am going to, well, I guess I have to wait until somebody, oh, Margot. Margot says dots. Hello, Margot. Nice to see you. Anyone else agree with Margot? Anne Marie says dots. Wendy says dots. Is that manly, though? Are dots manly? Because remember, this was supposed to be kind of a guy card. So are dots going to work for a guy? Or, now that I've said that, does that change your mind at all? Does that make you say, oh yeah, Barb, maybe we should go stripes since it's for a guy? Because polka dots are they kind of girly or are they not kind of girly? So keeping in mind that this is going to be for a boy, probably like a teenager or a younger boy. Now, do you still say dots? Does everyone still say dots if I'm saying boy card, man card? I think you might be changing your mind. Wendy says stripes. Anyone else? This is me waving my magic wand across so everyone can vote right now. Dots from Donna, sorry. And Marie says still the dots. Wendy says stripes are better for a guy. Now I'm torn, you guys, because most of you said dots. But I really wanted this to be for a guy. And so I'm sort of I think I'm going to override everyone because it's my card. I can do what I want. And I'm going to go with the stripes, I think is what I'm going to do. Oh, thank you, Brenda. The handheld punch is in the catalog and it's $9. Margot can't decide. Teresa says stripes. I'm going to go stripes because that was my original plan, was to go stripes. And then when I remembered that the paper was double-sided, then I was struggling a little bit. But I am going to stick with the stripes only because, like I said, I was thinking of doing it for a guy. So that's what we're doing. However, if you guys want, you can make this card at home and use the stripe or use the dots. And look what I did. My cardstock's a little long, but like I always say, you can always trim paper down. You can never add paper to your card. So we just trim that off just a hair. That's going to go there. Get that glued on. And I think, yeah, is this blue? Did I cut this wrong? Did I hot dog cut this wrong? I think I must have, because that's way too long. Well, I kind of pulled it out of my stash, and apparently it was wider than 4 1/4 inches. So now it's 4 1/4 by 11. I lied before. Okay. And oh, Barb! Ugh. Sometimes you guys, can I get that off? I don't think so. We're going to have to do something. What am I going to do? Okay. I was going to put the ribbon on there. I was going to wrap the ribbon around it. But in my haste to decide whether I wanted stripes or polka dots, I didn't put the ribbon on. But I really want the ribbon on there. How can I get that on there? I might be able. Oh, we're going to try this. This doesn't always work. Well, we're going to try it. Okay. Gluing ribbon on to stuff doesn't always work. But we're going to try. Okay. So if I cut that right. Ugh. Jeez Louise. This has been like the worst Facebook Live in the history of the world. All right. So I'm going to just barely. I have to get down here close. So you might see my hair and I apologize. At least it's not gray. I got it done just like a week ago or so. And so I haven't even had to use my chocolate chip ink and my sponge dauber to cover up my gray. So yeah. So you can see, hopefully you can see, this bead of glue that I'm putting on here is super, super thin. Because if it's thick, it's going to squish out all over the place. And I don't want it to squish out all over the place. All right. And this ribbon, I think, is thick enough that the glue won't bleed through. Sometimes if your ribbon is thin, like really sheer, the glue will soak through and you'll be able to see it. And that's no bueno, as my kids would say. And so I think I'm going to be able to, I think I can trim that off just a tad. So there we go, you guys. Ugh. Every day is a struggle. No, I'm just kidding. That's a little bit dramatic. Okay. Tap that into place. See, what I normally would have done is wrap the ribbon around the card first, or the layer first, and then I would have stuck it on the back with tape. but I think this is going to work. Okay, so we've got dimensionals on this thing here. Oh, Brenda says heat it up. Heat what up? I'm not sure. Oh, see, I would if I used snail, Brenda, but I used liquid glue. Liquid glue does not come off as well, as easy as the snail does when you heat it up. Because there's a tip for you. Thank you, Brenda. If you guys do use snail and that did happen to you, you can use the heat tool to loosen up the glue, and then you can peel that layer off and you could put your ribbon on. But because I used liquid glue, I haven't ever had much luck in peeling that layer off without ruining it. So it worked out okay. I saved it, thank goodness. And there it is. So that is my last card. So remember to share the video. Like my page if you haven't already. I would appreciate that. Sharing it will get you in the drawing to win the cards. Remember, my Abstract Impressions online class is only $20. You can get that on my blog. And orders placed between now and the end of June that use my host code will get my monthly card file emailed. 5 handmade cards is my bonus for the end of the month, since I really slacked at working this month. And then the twinkle sequins too. So check that out at my blog, barbstamps.com. Order with me at shoppingwithbarb.com. And hopefully things are going to be settling down for me. And I actually might be changing my Facebook Live time to the evening, because I'm finding more people are watching me now than normally watch me during the day. So I think I might change it to the evening. We'll kind of see how this works out. But anyways, thank you guys again. Have a wonderful week and a great weekend. Bye-bye.